What's up, everyone? Jay's 2 cents here, and if you remember, I almost said if you recall, but that would be a pun. If you recall that a few weeks ago I did a video about CableMod's voluntary recall, but at that time I said we would have to follow up with what the official recall looked like because I had some speculations on whether or not they were in an interim period with the CPSC, or the Consumer Product Protection, what's it called again? The Consumer Product Safety Commission, which handles recalls here in the United States. So there was a lot of stuff that I was asking questions and they were like, we can't answer that, I'm sorry, which means lawyers and all that crap. But guess what? All the stuff is definitive. So what does that mean for you? What does that mean for people that have the adapters? What does that mean in terms of refunds? All that stuff. So we have the details. It's all on the website. We'll kind of go through that right now. It's a big deal because you should not be using the adapters anymore, period, if you value your graphics card. So anyway, with that said, I'm not going to put any sponsors or anything on this video, but head to jays2cents.com and maybe grab a t-shirt or a discounted mat or whatever, because we got a lot and we got to get rid of them. This is CableMod's website right here. This is cablemod.com/adapter recall. I talked in the last video about whether or not it was official, and I also looked up here on cpsc.gov and I searched CableMod, and this is what we got right here as of February 8th, 2024. All the information is here. There's about 25,300 units. So basically what happens here is they have to, like when they start a recall process like this, one of the things they have to submit info and data on is how many are in the wild. That way they can also kind of keep tabs on how many are still in the wild over time if people aren't turning them in. So that's all the information that CableMod sort of had to provide. Not a whole lot of additional information here, but this means this is an official filing. There's even a phone number here that you can call to contact if you want to talk to somebody like in person. So they did go through the CPSC voluntary recall program, which is what I was suspecting. Now, what does voluntary recall mean? That does not mean it is voluntary for you to give it back. Technically it is. But the point is, it's voluntary in that the CPSC did not force CableMod to do this recall. CableMod initiated the recall on their own. I'm happy to see it didn't take months and months and months to happen and get official. This is about protecting the consumer here, as you can see in as the name applies. This is about making sure the consumer has protections in place if damage or monetary loss happens due to a failure of this. So this is CableMod saying, hey, we want to stand behind the customer, we want to make it right, so we initiated the recall. Sometimes when that happens, depending on the severity of the recall, it can take a long time to get processed and get a caseworker, a case manager handled or assigned through CPSC. I'm glad to see that it only took about a month, or maybe a little more than a month, which is nice. Anyway, let's go through this line by line so that you understand what this means for you. Okay, so voluntary safety recall, CableMod 12-volt high power angled adapters V1.0 and V1.1, 90 degree and 180 degree variants A and B. Basically all of them. If it's got a 12-volt high power plug on an adapter, that is right now expected to be returned to CableMod, basically for destruction, to be destroyed. Hopefully there's some material they can recycle out of this. But anyway, it says we are voluntarily recalling all of our angled adapters to keep our customers and their hardware safe. What I mean by that too, or what they mean by that is, don't forget, if your card was damaged, they are repairing cards and replacing cards where available, so that you're not out of a product. This is the first time I've seen a company take on assume the responsibility for a product that was damaged outside of their own product. So CableMod has done that from day one. Tons and tons of emails of people reaching out telling me, hey, I started the process with getting my GP repaired with CableMod and I'll let you know how it goes. I'm happy to report that many of those people ended up following back up with me. Many of them never emailed me back again, but to say that it was handled, it was fixed, it was replaced, et cetera, et cetera. So that's good to see. Anyway, it says we have found that the male connectors on the adapters could become loose during cable management and system use, overheat, and melt the GPU, posing fire and burn risks. We encourage all of our customers to participate. Again, encourage, because this is not like, you don't have to return the adapter. I know some people have a lot of concerns because adapters are right now the only way they can close their side panels. It might be the only way their cable even reaches currently. That's not CableMod's fault. They were trying to create a product to fix that. Unfortunately, they got bit by a terrible design from the start in terms of the cable, or the pin layout and the 12-volt high power plug itself. So they unfortunately got burned as well financially by even trying to come up with it. So this is not CableMod's fault. If you're like, well, no, I can't close my side panel. It's like, that's not CableMod's fault. Anyway, this recall applies to only our angled adapters and does not affect our angled cables. Yeah, their angled cables have actually been pretty solid because you don't have all these extra like connection points pulling on it and making it crooked and stuff. These are all the different variants. If you have any questions as to what they look like, they're listed right here. If it's an adapter with a 12-volt high power plug, it's basically expected to be returned. It says what we're doing for our customers, and this is the part that was all speculation in the last video. Now we have actual detailed plan of action here, which also had to be approved by the CPSC. So that's why they couldn't talk about it, because this is all now legally binding at this point for this recall. And there's lawyers and caseworkers and everything involved in this. So this is like down to the T. It says we are offering customers a choice of either a full refund of $60 US or 60 euro store credit to be used for any non-customized product that we sell. With free standard shipping, you will receive a full refund or store credit for each angled adapter that you purchased. So as you can see right here, you're getting either a refund or a store credit. I also have a question here on whether or not, I don't know if you're like me, I don't keep receipts for little things like this. I say little things like $50, $40 part, maybe a year or two after the fact. I don't have those receipts anymore. So I'm wondering if they're gonna apply the refund to it. If you're just like, look, here's the adapter, I'm sending it in, will they just give you the refund at that point? What if you don't have proof of purchase? That's the only gray area I'm not certain about on here. I'm highly encouraging CableMod to maybe leave a comment on this video about, and I'll pin it if they do, about how they're handling people that don't have proof of purchase, whether they bought it through Amazon or they bought it through any other potential retailer or direct through the CableMod store. I'd like that to be spelled out as well. But it says you receive a full refund or store credit for each angled adapter that you purchased. They go on to say, if you participate in our early adopter program, we will also be offering customers the choice of either a full refund or a store credit for the shipping amount. You will not receive a refund or store credit for the V1.1 angled adapter that you received for free. So that makes perfect sense. There was an early adopter program. I must have missed it, so I reached out to them and I said, what was the early adopter program? Where basically all they were doing was asking for shipping, or you pay shipping and they would send you an adapter for free. And this is after the 1.1. I think this was a goodwill gesture for those that after the V1.0 problems, V1.1 was supposed to fix the problem. Clearly it hasn't, but I think it was a goodwill gesture to those that were like, for a short window, were like, hey, I'd like an adapter. Cool, pay shipping, it's yours. So you're not gonna get back a refund of $0. Well, I guess you are getting back a refund of $0 because you didn't pay anything for the adapter, but you'll get your shipping back, whatever that shipping was. It says only one type of remedy may be selected for this recall, either all refund or all store credit. So you can't be like, can I have 30 store credit and 30 refund? It's all or the other, right? You must have a PayPal account if you elect to receive a refund. I think there's gonna be some pushback on that, but I don't know how many different ways of processing money back CableMod would be able to handle with so many international customers. Now, this particular exact recall is specific for the US, but I know CableMod is wanting the adapters back for every region they've ever sold it. But the CPSC is specifically a US government entity, so you would have to comment down below if you've gone through the recall process and you're in Germany or Sweden or the UK or whatever on how that went. So I'll be honest, I have no idea. This is specific for the US market here. All right, so now there's some instructions here for both on the website and on the CPSC website. So I'll go through CableMods first and then CPSC. So to ensure your safety, please follow step-by-step instructions. Please do not touch the adapter while the system is running, obvious reasons. Power down your system and wait until the adapter has adequate time to cool. That's because it could have been starting to melt at that exact moment. You don't know. If it's hot enough to melt plastic, it's hot enough to melt skin. You don't want that, right? Make sure it's cool to the touch. Depress the safety clip with your finger. Gently pull the adapter from the GPU, or use a piece of plastic if it's recessed behind a stupid water block and some of the other GPUs that like to cover that little pin. If you have a 180-degree variant A adapter, you will need to use a spudge or popsicle stick, whatever, okay? If the adapter will not disengage from the GPU after using reasonable force, the angle adapter may have failed. It could potentially have glued itself at that point. Please contact customer service. Here's their phone number. Okay, so that phone number that's listed, 3605, yeah, so that is CableMod's US phone number right there. Monday through Friday, 9 to 5 ET. CableMod will repair your GPU if it is damaged. Please note that CableMod is no longer reimbursing the purchase price of damaged GPUs. This is where it's gonna get a little bit dicey, and let's now tiptoe around this a little bit. One, at the moment they issue the recall, that is also where they are, that is the cutoff point of their responsibility for any damage that happens beyond that recall if you continue to use the adapter. The gray area here is going to be how to prove, or how long, what is the buffer period between this recall going into effect and you trying to remove your adapter and realizing it's failed. So what I mean by that is it a week? Is it 2 weeks? Is it a month? Is it 90 days? Because not everyone's gonna immediately run out right now and try and take off their plug and adapter. They might be having to wait for a solution to be able to plug in another cable or something. So if they go to remove it and it turns out it's failed, what is the interim period at which it's already failed and when they'll still reimburse or replace or fix the GPU? That needs to be spelled out a little bit better. There needs to be something in writing right there that says, for 30 days from the notice of this recall, which is February 8th officially, past 30 days, or let's say March 1st or whatever, I know it was only 28 days or 29 days this year, leap year, it has to be spelled out. There's too much opportunity for drama in that interim. Obviously, if you go to pull out your plug right now and it's not coming out, call them immediately. You need to get it on record that you tried, it's broken, whatever. Okay, so start the process. Let's continue with CableMod, then we'll go back to CPSC. Fill out the recall form below, so there's a form. If you purchase from one of our authorized online retailers, you will need to upload your invoice or receipt to our website in order to participate in this recall. So what I said earlier, there it is. You need to have some proof of purchase. I don't know what that means if you've bought it secondhand. So let's say you bought it from someone that sold their system or whatever, and you now have the system with the adapter in it, but you don't have any proof of purchase. In my opinion, personally, a recall should mean if you have the product, you get the money. But that doesn't mean that person didn't participate in the recall and then get refunded and you're trying to do it for the same adapter. So this is what's ugly about recalls, right? Watch the video below to find out how to disable your angled adapter. Oh, what are they having us do? Are they having us like break something here? Okay. So we're gonna open the sucker up. Oh, they're actually having you like break the terminals. So you're putting a flathead screwdriver in and twisting it. This is so that you don't get a hold of one later. Like maybe there's someone new to PCs and didn't know this whole thing went down and someone wanted to be sketchy and just try and sell this for 40 bucks or whatever and skirt the whole process, have some cash, and then here you are with a potentially melted connector. So destroying the product is part, yes, I have kids, that's why there's Cocomelon on here, okay? Maybe I just have a guilty pleasure, whatever. No, Cocomelon is extremely annoying, even my 9-year-old agrees. Moving on, destroying the product is important. It says, when your angled adapter is disabled, take a picture of it and upload it to our website. If you purchase more than one adapter, put them all in the same picture. Discard the adapter according to local law, sign and submit the form. Okay, so earlier I said I was hoping there was a way to maybe like recycle some of that material in there. Apparently not. They just want to see proof of destruction. With potential 25,300 of them or whatever it is, that's a lot of photos to go through. After we verify your submission, we'll process the refund or email you a store credit code to use during checkout. Please allow 6 to 8 weeks for processing. I don't think that's unreasonable. I think some people are gonna want it now. But think about how many of these forms are coming in and the manpower it takes to go through those. And CableMod's a very small company. I wouldn't be surprised if they're using a third party to maybe help process this stuff that has experience in these types of claims. Claims made on angled adapters purchased from authorized online retailers may take longer to verify before they are processed. If you have any questions, please consult our frequently asked below. We apologize for inconvenience. Okay. CPSC says basically the same thing. It's just in a much more direct, you'll get 60 bucks back, destroy it, take a photo, fill out a form, here you go. I want a refund, but I don't have a PayPal account. What should I do? You will need to set up a PayPal account. So that's where I was gonna say some people are gonna be upset because they may not want to have a PayPal account because just people that have various reasons for not wanting to sign up for certain stuff, and they're almost always valid. This is, I think, the only way that they can easily and internationally get funds around without having to go through all the different banking systems and different direct deposits and ACHs and wires and all that crap. And who wants to send a wire that they're gonna have to spend $20 or $25 on to wire money for $60, right? That's dumb. Okay, this whole situation sucks, but I'm glad to see that CableMod is officially doing something for this. Oh, here we go. I received my angled adapter as a gift. What should I do? Please call us toll-free or reach out to customer service. We'll be happy to help. So please, this is my call to action here. If you're watching this video and you received an adapter as a gift, you don't have a receipt or an invoice, or it was already in a system that you got, because I know that they were used with some SIs and such, let me know how that process went. I really want to make sure CableMod is doing everything they can to make this right. Now, when we talk about making it right, what is the potential impact of this I want to know what the potential impact of this is going to be. So if we have 25,300 units at $60 a pop, $1.5 million loss. And that is, let me tell you what that doesn't include. That does not include the amount of money it takes to actually start the CPSC recall. And what I mean by that is you have to hire a lawyer. There's a lawyer, and there's recall lawyers that are involved in this stuff for protections of both parties, the consumer as well as the brand itself. There is also the brand damage that happens with all of this. Guaranteed there's people that are really sketched out about buying anything from Cable Mod right now, so there's a reputational hit that takes place with all of this, and that's nearly impossible to calculate. The only way you can really calculate that is to take previous sales earnings trajectories and compare where they are today and see what that trajectory looks like. If it's a 45% reduction in sales over the same period of time, 5 years running, now it's 25% less, you could say 25% of your gross annual income is now lost. So now we could be talking $2-3 million, right? And what's the long-term ramifications of that? So this is a big, expensive problem. And I'm happy to see that it's now officially in the cpsc.gov website because that's important for you as a consumer. Bottom line, if you're using the adapter, stop using it immediately. If you can't fit a cable in your system right now because of the wire management or length or size of your case or whatever, and it just won't reach up to make the bend, or you can't close your side panel, take your side panel off. The side panel can stay off until you get a resolution. If the cable's too short, you might have to look at getting a replacement 12-volt high-power cable from Amazon or something. We've actually run some Amazon ones that have been perfectly fine. It's when you start adding all the adapters and stuff to them that problems happen. But again, don't be mad at Cable Mod if your cables don't reach your graphics card, because Cable Mod didn't make your cable, your power supply company did. And your Cable Mod didn't make your case design, the case designers did. And the Cable Mod didn't make your graphics card 54 meters tall, meant the NVIDIA AIBs did. So that's not Cable Mod's fault, okay? I know this sounds very defensive at that point, but I am still a huge fan of Cable Mod and what they tried to do with this. Unfortunately, I did try and warn them. I'm gonna stand on my soapbox. I did try and warn them not to do this. Not the recall, but don't make the adapters. You win some, you lose some. So anyway, all right, there we go, guys. Thanks for watching. That's the recall information. Please, for the love of God, report back to me how the process went. I want to make sure it's going smoothly. It's important. And if they want to control that amount of brand damage, this needs to go smoothly. Because if it starts going viral, that Cable Mod made it right and things were processed quick, people got their money back, people got their angled plugs if they want those instead, or they want the store credit, or you didn't have a receipt and they took care of you anyway, that's the stuff that gives the brand long-term brownie points, if you will. If it starts coming out that Cable Mod's like, oh, you didn't dot this I, sorry, we're not giving you a refund, then you can just expect the brand to continue to sink moving forward. All right, guys, thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one.